Take this job and shove it.
This is Jobcast Radio. I am Mike Baumgartner, your Work-Life Survival Sage, your Chief Executive Officer of the Work-Life Survival Center. Give me a call, 304-867-4142. Again, 304-867-4142. If you've got a question or a problem or you just need some advice, there's no charge. Just give me a shout. We'll get you the answers that you need, because I like people who are in their job, happy in their job. Look, if you wake up on a Monday and you say, I don't want to go to work, don't. Let's find you a job that makes you excited when you wake up and you want to go to work. And if you've got a boss that's being a jerk, or you've got a bad situation going on, you let me know. I won't necessarily put you on the show. That's up to you if you want to be on the show. But I definitely want to make sure you're doing all right at work. And if you're having trouble finding a job, let me know. We'll check out your resume. We'll get you some interview tips, whatever it is that you need. I'll make sure that you've got it. So we are talking about, as we come up on Valentine's Day, how to deal with a relationship at work. And we've talked about a couple of rules. One, don't date somebody in your department. Number two, if you're going to date somebody, let's make sure that they're on a different floor, or better yet, a different building that you happen to be working in. And if he or she is your boss, that's a really, really bad idea. Rule number 4, and this is really important. If you followed rules 1 through 3 and you find yourself in a relationship at work, here is a secret that you may want to consider. If you're in a relationship, if you're dating somebody who's not in your department, you're having a good relationship, don't make it a secret. Now, why would you want to do this? Number 1, usually the significant other, eventually wonders why you want it to be a secret. I get it that you want to hide it from the company because you're afraid the company's going to do something about it. Most of the time, most companies have a policy that say, look, you're more than welcome to date somebody at work. You just need to be good about it. You need to be well behaved. Now, why would you not want to make it a secret? Here's the main reason I would suggest that. Because you essentially turn everybody in the company into somebody who will probably be rooting for you because they like the fact that, you've got some people at work who happen to be in love. And also, it'll make sure you all stay honest. Because quite frankly, if you misbehave at work, if you're dating somebody at work and you start flirting with somebody else, somebody in the company will see you and they will rat you out at first opportunity. And if you want to make sure the person you're dating is going to be behaving, you let everybody know you're in a relationship, because I guarantee you will have every person in that company as your personal spy to make sure that everything is going on. On top of that, it will help in your relationship if you start doing nice things at work, because that just makes everybody go, ah. And they support it and they like it. And you will also find that you will have other couples want to get involved and hang out with you being a couple, which is also a better situation. Now, inevitably, there's always somebody in the company who's like, I really want to break up this relationship and I'm going to do my best to do that. That's rare, but quite frankly, if you are dating somebody who is not your boss and you're at work, by all means, make sure everybody knows about it. Which means if you're a player, as I've mentioned before, learn from rule number 4. If you're a player, you start dating around with somebody and then you start flirting with somebody else and you start flirting with somebody else, you will get ratted out. It will blow up in your face because employees love drama, especially when it's somebody else's. So if you want to do that, you want to be a player in a company, knock yourself out, but everybody will know you will have that relationship and you will have those people ratting on you, and you will find it appearing eventually probably on their Facebook page. So, while you may not want to be the topic of conversation, you're going to be. So if you're dating, let people know. Because I guarantee you, if you're hiding it, people will wonder why, and then they'll really get in your knickers. So, Rule number 4, if you're in a relationship, make it public. Rule number 5, if you're a player, learn from rule number 4. Rule number 6, If you get married to the person that you're working with and you're both working in the company, my advice to you is one of you should quit and go work someplace else. Because I have seen, I can count on one hand, and I'm talking about being in HR for more than 20 years. I can count on one hand the number of married couples who survive working in the same company. And quite frankly, the main reason is when you are at work and you are having lunch with your spouse all the time and you see each other, and anything you do wrong at work, your spouse is going to know about it. If you get written up, if your boss talks to you poorly, if you do something wrong, he or she is going to know about it. And, sometimes you just don't want somebody knowing every single iota of everything that is happening during the day. On top of that, when you get home from work, you two have absolutely nothing to talk about. Unless you have like kids or something else outside that you can chat about, but odds are you're doing that at work anyway. You need to have a separation from the employment situation. One of you should go work someplace else. So number one, when you come home from work, you both have different stories to tell. And it's a wonderful thing to have that you have some stuff to talk about. You need to make sure that you've got time away so that you can, again, refresh, miss each other. Like I said, I can count on one hand how many people I know in marriages who have survived that. And yes, occasionally I will run into some couple that are business partners together, and they just love being around each other. Cool. That is the exception to the rule. Don't do this, because if it blows up, and I have had this happen more times than not, where a company ends up getting divorced and they are both working in the same company, where the husband is trying to convince the wife to take him back, and the husband ends up losing his job. Why? Because that becomes sexual harassment. Can an ex-husband or an ex-wife harass their spouse at work if they both work there and they used to be married? Absolutely. Don't do it. And so let me kind of cap this off with just some quick review on what is sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is doing something. Well, there are two types of sexual harassment. One is quid pro quo, which means, if you sleep with me, I'll give you a promotion, that kind of thing. You sort of get a this for that. Those things are really obvious. The next one is hostile work environment. That is when somebody continues to ask you out and you don't want to go out. It is repeated behavior, it is unwelcome behavior, and it is behavior that offends you and would offend a reasonable person. All those things usually need to be together for a true sexual harassment kind of situation. Filing a sexual harassment claim on an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend happens all the time. Because when you get into a relationship at work, inevitably you always have to plan that it's gonna go south, that it's gonna blow up in your face, and that's when it gets ugly, and that's when HR people come up to you all concerned. Meanwhile, in the back of their head, they're saying, thank you for doing all this because it's job security for me. Bad employees ensure HR employment. So we're really happy. Well, we're not really happy when sexual harassment happens, but we're glad that we're there to be able to fix the problem. So when you start dating, while everybody may be absolutely wonderfully happy that you are just the most cutest couple and everything, HR is going, I can't wait till they break up because that will further justify my salary within the company. So there are my rules about falling in love at the workplace. Remember, don't date somebody in your department. Find a different floor, a different building. Do not date your boss. If you end up in a relationship, tell everybody. If you're a player, don't even try it. And if you get married, one of you should quit. You got stories about that? I'd love to hear them. It is 304-867-4142. Again, 304-867-4142. You can also shoot me an email, mike@jobcastradio.com. You can find this show out on off my website. You can find it on iTunes and a couple of local radio stations across the good old U.S. of A. Give me your thoughts. Again, mike@jobcastradio.com. We'll be right back after we pay the bills with a few commercial messages. Bye-bye.
Take this job and shut it.